join.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Yes, beautiful day here in Milan, Italy. It's another Monday, another new week. You're welcome. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajuan, and I'm here with George Chukwu, all the way from Toronto, Canada. George, how are you?
I am also, and I'm greetings from around the world for our viewers on Monday Between the Line, all the way from Canada. We just want to say welcome to our show today.
Yeah, George, you're welcome. Beautiful out there here. It's still very bright outside, and it's 8 o'clock, almost 9 p.m. night hour, but it's bright. The sun is shining. How is Canada, George? How's Canada? A summer day like this?
Canada
how is it? Sunny?
We're having the most. We're having the most beautiful weather ever. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, and it's very bright outside. So we're enjoying. We're having a good time.
Nice.
Yes.
Good. The best. I mean, every moment should be enjoyed. We have a very short time to live as human on Earth, so moments should be taken precious. Nice. All right, viewers, you're welcome.
You have to appreciate every moment, and that's the only way.
Yeah, that's the only way. Monday, 21st July, we're here between the lines. George, a lot of things are happening, a lot around the world. Let's begin with some local news back home. Retired police officers are protesting. Nigeria retired police officers are protesting in Taraba State, North Nigeria, FTC, FCT, Abuja, and they are warning that if the government fails to respond to them, their actions will continue until demands are met. And what we might have is a replicate of the protests in other states. George, what do you know about this? What's happening?
Well, we just read this weekend about what happened. Retired police officers in Abuja and Taraba staged a peaceful protest over poor welfare conditions. You know, if you look over there, you will see all the the protest and all the things that they carry out. Our protest was actually joined by the Omoleye Sowore, who urged the government to prioritize police welfare. You know, these people, they have been marginalized for so many years, and their living conditions is so deplorable and despicable that these people that are part of the executioners of the law in our state, they live in they are among the poorest in our country, as a matter of fact. So retirees, decried non-payment of pensions and years of neglect by the government, and this is the reason they are coming out finally. So in Taraba, protesters demanded to be removed from the police contributory pension scheme, because what is happening is that they're not paying them, and when that time for the pension comes, some of these government officials, they will lodge billions of this naira and delay the payment because they are getting interest from the banks where the money is lodged, all this money. So that's one of the major problems that they are they're going through. So placards were reading messages like "Scribe the
So when there are situations like this, George, I don't know, can you hear me? It looks like it's bouncing.
I can hear you quietly.
Okay. So when we have situations like this is the core reason why we have the high level of extortion among the police with motor drivers, road users, because the police are not well taken care of, and they come back on the people and extort money from them, take bribe and all that, and this leads to high level of criminality. So why can't the government just respond and look into all of this once and for all, instead of clamping them down, suppressing them, telling them not to go ahead with any protest? George, let's talk one-on-one now, me and you. Why do you think all of this is just
but you see what it is like IGP just recently, also the police commissioner, was saying that they have to be protected in their protests because they're part of them. And then also they said that retirees' rights, to protest must be protected and encouraging peaceful expression. So what it is this, my brother. Now, you see, if it was only that the police is taking bribe for their own pockets, it's a different thing. But sometimes they are required to get percentage of these things that they pick from people back to the higher officers, which is even more, despicable. And it's like almost, you don't even know how to describe that. That, higher officers are getting part of the bribe that the police officers are collecting from motorists in Nigeria. And yet, the government can give themselves, the Senate can give themselves increase, the Parliament, the House can give themselves increase, but they are nationally neglecting these police officers who daily are seeing things that are so bad, and sometimes they don't even know how to go home all after work. So, Nigeria, the government need to look into this very seriously, because
now
it doesn't speak well of us. If you don't,
yes, they will use fellow police officers, their fellows, their colleagues, to stop them from doing this, from protesting. And what they are actually protesting for is something that will eventually be of good to the other colleague, to this present active servicemen. So why can't those ones reason and say, for once and for all, let's look into this through? I see the barracks, George.
You see, the problem is trying to siphon money from people, from motorists on the street. It doesn't make any sense. And it's not constitutional. It's illegal. And yet we ignore the legalities of these things, and we continue to, pursue mundane pedestrian nonsense that doesn't even make any sense. But here the lives of the people that are serving Nigerians, suffering daily out there on the streets, going after criminals and could be killed. They're just being put aside and marginalized, and nobody's talking about them. So this strike is important. I hope that it will be a national, strike all across the nation, so that government can pay attention to these people. Get that money that is lodged in the account somewhere that is earning interest, and come and pay these people.
Okay,
because they're dying daily. This is very wrong.
George, you're saying strong words here, even though your frame is frozen. I don't know, maybe it's mine, but your frame is frozen, but your words are clear. Your words are clear, audible. So now also, George, the IGP is cautioning, like you said earlier, the IGP is cautioning that they should not spread misinformation, the protests, blah, blah, blah. Now, the IGP should also, why can't he also look into this plight of these people? Why can't he look into these old colleagues, old servicemen, old comrades in this organization called the police, and once and for all take their issue to the Senate? Let them look into it. Don't you think that's a wise thing to do, instead of telling them to stop protests?
One of the major problems we have here is this. Some of these, the IGP and the rest of them, they're on top and they're chopping money. They're well taken care of. And it is a sad day when, he's going to retire someday, though he's an IGP, he's going to retire someday. What if this thing affects him and affects his colleagues after they retire? Because somebody's going to be out there trying to do the same thing, if he continues. So his thing is to protect his older comrades that had worked as hard as he is working today. People that are not paying attention to the police and to the things that are happening with them, even this particular corruption that we're talking about, it needs to be looked into. And what are the corrective opportunities, things to do to go to the root cause and stop this nonsense that is happening. It doesn't look good for us. It is affecting the public, it's affecting the motorists, it's affecting everybody. It doesn't look good at all.
Yes, George. Some images can be seen here. I don't know if you see some images there. Now, those images shows how terrible this situation is. We see also how deplorable the house these people live. I don't know if some of those images can be shown. The studio is trying to get some of those images for us. Very, very deplorable situations that these people find themselves in. Sometimes they have to no water, no electricity, nothing, and somebody is there taking all this money. People are putting their money in the bank, like you said, using their money for businesses. George, these are sad times for the police. I really wish their issue could be looked into. George, can you see the image there? These are some of the barracks, police barracks in some states in Nigeria. Imagine a police serviceman living in this kind of deplorable living condition. George, look at that.
So what you need to ask yourself, these are the conditions. This is the condition that most of these police officers are living. And yet, when you think about it, they're spending billions upon billions of naira to buy new jets, to build trillions of naira worth of road that goes to nowhere. And then they rebuild the vice president's house that needed not to be rebuilt and spend billions doing it. And then, yet, the executioners of the law in our country, look at the despicable and the deplorable state, the way they are living. So don't that tell you something? Look at that. Humans are living in such a place. What would it cause the government to? What would it cause the government to to just upgrade these buildings and paint it at least? Come on,
George. George, no, this is terrible. It's more than sad. Now, on top of all of this, George, on top of this kind of living condition, these people are not paid their salary in due time. These people are also not paid their pension when they retire, and all of those kind of story. George, who does this?
It's sad.
And we have we have our politicians clamoring for 2027. The atmosphere in Nigeria now is 2027, so everything is geared towards 2027 election when we've not lived through 2025. Our police are living in deplorable living conditions. Our police are not paid. The police servicemen are suffering, and you're looking into 2027. George,
it's sad. Even with the inflation and the devaluation of our naira, so you're still paying them the same salary. And then the money that they're earning cannot even help them to do anything. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something. As bad as it is that these people are, possibly, asking you to help them out on the streets. Sometimes, when you look at the conditions under which these people are living, it will touch your heart to just want to help them out. But the saddest part of it is that most of the money they collect, they have to divide with their superiors. And these are people making more money than they. So they are mandated to bring certain percentage back. And that's why you see them, always clamoring and fighting and jumping into the vehicles and trying to seize the steering wheel of drivers when they refuse to, give them some kind of bribe. And that's exactly what it is, bribe.
Now, who lives like this, George? I mean, humans are not supposed to live like this. No. Even in every normal condition, people are not supposed to be put in this kind of quality of life. This is zero quality of existence, zero, George. Okay,
you tell me. So how can their sons and daughters that are raised in these places want to come out and become police officers? What kind of can you imagine that? If you grow up in such a place, how can that, even encourage you to want to do what your father doing or what your mother, is doing, a police officer. When you see, roach-infested buildings turned green by the kind of rain that we have in Nigeria, and nobody cares about these things to paint those buildings and then give them a little halfway decent place to live. It is sad, and shame on on the government of our government, in short. Shame on them.
Yeah, shame on them.
Shame on them.
Shame. Viewers, you're watching Between the Lines today, 21st July 2025. And we are talking about the police and their very deplorable situation. Some of them are protesting, government not taking care of them as they are retirees. Retired police officers are protesting in Taraba, in Abuja, and you can understand their protest. We see with their protest. So we urge our government to look into police and situations, issues surrounding retiring from the police force, issues surrounding their living condition, their salary, their everything, allowances, and everything that makes up that group, that servicemen group. So this is it, George. George, thank you. Let's move on, George. Sad times also all over. We also have doctors protesting. Doctors plan to protest in Nigeria on Thursday. They say the 21-day ultimatum they've given to the federal government will expire on Wednesday night. So they are going out to protest also. George, tell us what's happening also with the doctors in Nigeria.
And that's exactly the point that we're making. We've been crying over this situation. We're talking about brain gain, brain drain, brain gain, brain drain. You want people to come back to Nigeria to work. Most of these medical doctors, they are all over the world doing justice and doing good jobs in many, many places. But yet, locally, these people are not being looked after. The Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, has issued a strong warning saying its actions are not personal gain, but for to saving Nigerian healthcare system. These people are being treated like another group of people that are being treated like nothing. So the federal government, the association actually gave the federal government July 23rd ultimatum to address the key welfare concerns or face possible strike. And already what is going to happen when these people go on strike. There will be so many deaths that will take place because the doctors are not going to be attending to the patients, and possibly it will be a limited number of nurses that might even go in there. So they are rejecting a recent circular on revised allowances, claiming it was not mutually agreed upon and undermines doctors' welfare. So what you're seeing is different areas and different departments in Nigeria are just being treated unfairly. And the point is that the government itself is neglecting these people. They are neglecting them. They're not even paying attention. This thing happened a few years ago, when a lot of pensioners who were professors, their money was held for a couple of years, and many of them died. Even some of them died on the line when they were waiting to, pick up these stipends that they're giving to them. So these are the things, when think about good governance involves every detail and every single aspect of our welfare, in every department. So if somebody is holding that money and not paying these people, isn't it the onus is on the government to investigate that individual and correct these things that are happening? Because a group of individuals will hijack the money that is being given and then lodge it into the bank to earn millions and upon millions of dollars or naira before start paying these people. Such nonsense ought to stop in our country. Don't boast that people are doing good governance when a lot of departments and a lot of areas in Nigeria need special attention. When people are dying who work for their money and their monies are not being paid to them. That is absolutely nonsense. And that's the reason why you see a lot of doctors, they leave Nigeria. They go to other countries. And our government now, when they are sick, they go to these other countries where Nigerians are doctors treating them there.
Can you
imagine that?
Can you imagine
most of these foreign places where they're going to get treatment, paying billions of our money, taxpayers' money, and oil money. Most of them are Nigerians that are working in these areas. So why can't the government ensure that there will be an executive medical center where our government officials can go for treatment rather than flying outside of the country and wasting our money unnecessarily? Why can't they do something for Nigeria? In the years past, Indians used to come to Nigeria for treatment, but look at what's happening right now.
Yeah, George, also, let it be noted that because our viewers are listening, this ultimatum has been given since July the 2nd to the federal government, and all they are asking is their increase in their salaries. The wages commission should revisit all of those incentives for them, and they say government has not even said anything to their demand. So July the 23rd, that's on Wednesday night, the ultimatum ends, and Thursday these guys are going on strike. It's crazy. It's really sad. We have to go through this over and over again with our health system, with our medical professionals in that country, and still yeah, go ahead.
People that are being neglected, at large.
Yeah. Okay, George, we're missing your voice now. We're not hearing you loud. Okay, you're watching SSM Monday Between the Lines. George and I were here, and we're talking about doctors going on strike on Thursday, the 23rd of 24th of this month. The Nigerian Doctors Medical Association will be going on strike because an ultimatum has been given, and government did not pay attention. Nobody is answering them. Nobody is responding to their ultimatum. All they want is to look into the salaries, the income. All they want is a revisiting of their allowances and all that encompasses their financial status. So that's what we're talking about. It's really sad that we have to go through this time and time again, like we said. So, George, I hope your line has come back. So let's go to another story that also borders on this whole storyline. Another one is that the young lady called Natasha Okpoti Udwaga, said she's coming back to the house. She insists on going back to the Senate, her position there, her seat. But the Senate also responded and said, "You're not to come. You can't resume yet." There's a court order that is mandating the Senate to hold her up, and she says she's coming back. Some people are standing with her. We have that activist called Aisha, political activist called Aisha Yusuf. She says they are with her. They are insisting that she resumes her position in the House of Senate. George, I hope I can hear you this time. What do you have on this?
Well, Natasha is returning to the Senate, including the Senate president. One of the major problems that they have is, you have three arms of government, and the judiciary is not being obeyed because they have really bastardized the judiciary to the point where, we were talking last time and somebody was saying, "Oh, don't talk bad about the judiciary, don't talk bad about the judiciary." But the point is this: other arms of the government are not, obeying the rule and the laws and everything that, they come up with. So now they are saying that as an elected official, representing Kogi State, this woman ought not to have been given that kind of, suspension without pay, without adequate representation to the people. The court found what the Senate was doing and their decision to be unconstitutional and mandated that the woman be restored back her position right away. And then the Senate is saying no. But the court's order must be obeyed. And the funniest part of it is she's talking about coming back on Tuesday, that, that will be the first day that she will come. But what happens with that is after that, they're going on a 2 months break. So that means that by the time She's saying that by the time she comes back, the Senate is fully seated, her 6 months would have expired. So they will not have the right to stop her anymore. But what you see here is acting like a cult. And that's not supposed to be. They ought to obey the law. If the judgment comes out and say that they must restore this woman back, they need to do it right away. Stop playing games, because this is not correct. It is not supposed to be. We have a constitution that nobody is above the law in Nigeria. So that's one thing that we need to find. Listen, the senators, you gotta allow that woman to come in on Tuesday, and do not try to do sense, because you guys are elected members of the public, and if anything is not done right, you'll be held responsible and you'll be liable. So that's what it is.
That's what it is. So this is it, viewers. Natasha, that senator from Kogi Central, Natasha Ukpoti-Uduaghan, she's been warned to stay away from the Senate, but she's saying she has to come back. She has to resume, and some people are saying yes, she has to. Some people are backstanding with her. So we all know that she was suspended in March 2025 for what they claim to be violating Senate rules after arrangement was made after the brawl between she and the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, whom she accused of sexual misconduct, and the allegation Akpabio denied. So now we have all this going on. We don't know what it's the whole thing, but we want to say that her absence at the House means absence of speaking on behalf of the people that selected her, that appointed her. So a vacuum is there, and it's not supposed to be. We saw what they were trying to do last time, trying to bring in somebody else. But I don't know. Terrible times, George. Crazy. Anyway, Aisha Yusuf has vowed to stand by her. Aisha Yusuf is that political activist, and she has said she should resume her duties at the Senate on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, despite all those opposition from the House. So let's see how it plays out tomorrow. George, but personally, not what the general views are. Personally, what do you think? Should she resume even though she's on suspension?
The suspension was illegal. It is unconstitutional. And that is the reason why the Justice Department came out with the ruling that they need to restore her right away. Because, some of the things that we are doing, we are running a government of gangsters. We cannot do that. We're a democratic government, for goodness sake. What happened in River State is unconstitutional. It is unheard of in any democratic society, except where, the government is acting like the Godfather. So we need to really look into it. Personally, I honestly believe that the way they have treated this woman is so unfair, and we should go back to the table and find out exactly what is really going on. Even the accusation, sexual assault accusation, has been ignored completely. Nobody's paying attention to it. And they're finding all kind of loopholes and technicalities to make sure that this woman doesn't come back. Why should their people not be represented?
Why should their people not be represented?
She was an elected individual, and the government is acting like what do you call them from Italy?
Like
mafia organization. That's not the way it's supposed to be. We must obey the Constitution. Nobody's above the law.
All right, George, let's go have some glass of water, clear our throats. Viewers will be on the other side. Stay on with SSM Wednesday Between the Lines. Thank you.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. Elevate your new week, fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world events. Hook up to SSM Monday program Between the Lines.
Right. Yeah, we're back. Between the Lines, Monday, 21st of July, 2025. My name is Mark Iwe-Junwa, and I'm here with George. George, are you there?
Yes, I am here, live and direct.
Good. Live and direct. George, let's look into some other issues again. George, this is critical now. The health sector is calling out Nigerians that a lot of Nigerians might be in danger of something, a disease that is ravaging a lot of people now. But they say people are not paying attention to it. It's more like an outbreak. The dengue fever is reigning now. It's ravaging many people. George, are you following that news? What do you know about this fever that comes through? It's similar to malaria, but it's something else again, and it kills. What do you know, George?
Yeah. Well, yeah, a recent report by Dr. Jide Idris of NCDC. Yes. NCDC. He has warned that failing to report some of these deaths might even actually increase the outbreak, because the dengue fever, yellow fever, and other diseases outbreak poses a very serious health issue, because many of the people that are suffering from this might not even have a way of reporting to the government, and many will die untreated because of inflation and everything else that is happening there. So what he was stressing is that a timely report of these things can actually bring it to the knowledge of the government and the appropriate department, so that they can actually try to either create a state of emergency or call the government attention to it so that it can be looked into, so lives will be saved. So they're saying that unreported cases may lead to wider spread and delayed response from health authorities. And then they are arguing that the public and the healthcare workers to promptly notify the authorities of any suspicious symptoms. And the warning comes amid growing concerns over, rising of this infection in certain parts of Nigeria. So it needs to be addressed. We need to find a way to collect data based on these things, because they're warning them, but most of the time, who do they call? Do they have a place where they can go and place some of these reports so that it will reach the government? Because I don't think that system exists. So is it to call people or what? So
yeah, that's it. The Director General, the man you see on the screen, Jide Idris, Dr. Jide Idris, yes, he's saying that Nigerians are in more danger of that dengue fever, very, very similar to malaria, but more risks, carries more danger. Also, like George is saying, we're not paying attention, we're not doing too much on that, and it's risky. We're playing with lives, because that's what the doctor also says. George, health issues generally in Nigeria and in Africa is still not it's not addressed. We're not really looking into those things, and that's why you have all these deaths, young people dying, sudden deaths. The government is not.
No, they need to have a system. You see, during the pandemic, a system was created. Nigeria was able to deal with these issues, especially when this monkey whatever they call it, is it Ebola? When Ebola
Yeah,
first came out,
mhm.
we were able to curtail it simply because everybody, the government got involved, the doctors got involved. Statistically, they were able to curtail this disease because implementation of all the criteria were there, and they were able to solve it. Now,
Okay.
all of a sudden, during the pandemic, also you saw that Nigeria did very well. So what's happening is, when people are warned and when people
Yes.
are told,
Take
this
precaution.
is what you need to do, take precaution, this is what you need to do, or in case of any infection or whatever, the drugs that you can actually take, because many times a lot of them might be going through some of these things and they don't even know, they don't
No.
even realize what is really happening with them. So that's exactly what we need to do in our government in order to ensure that some of these things that are happening, that we have answers to them. So that's what we believe that what's his name is doing. Dr.
Dr.
Idris is
Gide
warning about.
Idris
So
warning
it's very,
about.
very important that that the
Okay.
government, when the statistics are out
Okay.
there, they can determine whether it's a pandemic or endemic or whatever the case might be. But it
Okay.
helps the
And
government to be able to attack it.
we are helping Dr. Idris also to push it out through this network. Nigerians watching, please be on the lookout. The dengue fever, and even the yellow fever, like he said, is there's an outbreak, and if proper measures are not taken, it might lead to more danger. So let's be cautious. Let the federal government look into this. The health sector, the NDCDC is calling out everybody. All right, George. George, let's go further. We also having this news during the week from the UK.
Hmm.
We know the British Conservative Party leader, Kemi Badner. She was talking, and she was telling us how it is. What she was trying to say is the Nigerian constitution actually does not discriminate on Nigerian citizenship, but the process itself, when you try to do it, they make it very, very hard for you. They don't, it's not easy for her children. Like she used the example of her children. Her children cannot get the Nigerian citizenship because she's a woman. She's the one that is Nigerian. So they are not making it easy for her. So she says, likewise, if Nigeria could be doing this to foreigners and to those that are entitled to the citizenship, then the British government should now look into making stricter measures on people coming to Britain, on people getting assimilated into the British um, um, portal. George, what do you think of Kemi? Kemi is talking too much.
Well, this is akin to what is happening with the U.S. right now.
Okay.
Donald Trump's wives were all immigrants.
Mhm.
Donald Trump's grandparents are immigrants. Yet he's instituting laws to deport people that are that are just as his wives or his grandparents. And what we
Mhm.
see with Kemi Badenoch here,
Mhm.
the leader of the Conservative Party, she's saying that the Tories got immigration wrong and plans a major overhaul of their approach.
Mhm.
So she's proposing to double the wait time before people can apply for the indefinite leave to remain from 5 years
Mhm.
to 10 years and extend the citizenship application period to follow that by 5 years, meaning at
Private.
least 15 years total in the UK before applying for passport. Eligibility for
Mhm.
permanent settlement or citizenship will be denied to anyone with a criminal record.
Yeah,
Those who
that's what
have
she's.
claimed benefits or lived in social housing or entered
Mhm.
illegally, overstayed, effectively barring them indefinitely from coming back into the country. So now you
Mhm.
see the policy also includes a strict numerical cap on net immigration making eligibility and contingent on proving applicants are not contributors to the economy. So what they are really saying is basically this woman is actually proposing things that are so difficult, and she was a beneficiary of the ease during her own
In
period.
getting
All of a
during her
sudden,
period.
she's coming right now, and this is what you see
Mhm.
with a lot of black people. When they have of authority, they want to work harder than those who actually are natural citizens of the UK. So now she's coming, because of whatever position she holds as the conservative leader, she wants to make it even stronger and stricter for the people. But on the other way around, on a fair equal ground, there are so many illegal entries, so many people that are coming and overstaying on their visas. So the constitution must also be obeyed. But to make it
Yes.
stricter and make it 15
Mhm.
years before you get your passport, come on. That doesn't
Come
make
on.
any sense.
So,
It
so,
doesn't make
so,
any sense.
viewers, you can hear what we're saying. Kemi is making those claims that about Nigerian citizenship, and she says they should make it tougher for immigrants also to get British citizenship, and people coming to Britain must be able to assimilate into the system, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, George, that's what happens most times, like you said. Trump is doing similar thing, and now Kemi is doing this. It's mainly targeted to her people. It's mainly targeted to Africans, and she's the one
Mhm.
stirring up that target. So we hope.
I'm part
Uh,
of the part of the problem we have also is because of the
yes,
bad governance in most countries in Africa. Because if the people feel safe in their own country can make a decent living in their own countries, you don't see them wanting to jump out to go anywhere. They want to stay
that's
in
it.
their country and enjoy their
Mhm.
country. Many
That's true.
Japad ones wants to go back home. Do you understand? So they want to go back home.
Japan,
So
you want to
and
go back
yet,
home?
the condition, the living conditions are not very favorable. Can you imagine 2025? We're still talking about kilowatts of light in Nigeria, while other
Can you,
smaller countries are maintaining and doing great things in their own countries. Light, ordinary light is one
George?
of the major issues,
Those things,
making life very unlivable. It's crazy.
yes, those issues, those topics are really sometimes you don't know where to start because it's so, I mean, unbelievable that in 2025 we could be having that discussion. It's crazy. All right, George. We want to be as brief and swift as we can, and that's what we've just done. So we don't really linger too long. George, but is there anything you want to add? I think we've done our thing. What do you want to add?
Yes, yes.
You want?
I'm presenting to the public.
Mhm.
Yes. So, but anyway, so this is what we have for
Mhm.
Monday between the lines, and
Yes.
I believe that. Do you have additional news that we can talk about, or do you want us
Mhm.
to, end it here today as it
Yeah.
stands?
Yes. Let's go off and come on Wednesday. More issues because we'll be looking at the protest, the police protest, the ongoing police protest in FTC, FCT, and probably it might begin to replicate around other states. And we're also looking at the doctors protesting on Thursday. So let's go
I,
study
I'm, I'm,
money.
I'm possibly, I'm possibly also on Wednesday. We need to talk about the governor of Edo State, the threat against P2B, and the constitutionality of it. Because Nigeria is coming to the place where right now most of these, what you call, I don't know what to call them, illiterate governors, people that are not enlightened, the people that did not go to school, and they become puppets in the hand of the government, to come and begin to talk about nonsense that doesn't even exist. So we need to talk about this on Wednesday and try to put
Yes.
that man in
Uh,
his place.
yeah. Well, he has been put in his place anyway, but that's a serious thing because it's an allegation that's not true. He said three people died when P2B came to the state out of the stampede because there was that stampede.
It
People
was
get
not connected. It was not connected. It was
so.
not connected.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah, he
exactly the
said.
point there. He's lying. And this is
Mhm.
just,
That's what.
I mean, it's so sad. It's so sad that the politicians are the ones bringing division among Nigerians. And this must be warned against. When they just want to, because of political, to score political points, they begin to act like illiterates and, glorify touts. That's what it
Yes,
is.
and
Glorified touts.
the error they are making is by doing this on this one man, P2B, they are adding more value, more attention to him. You see, it's an error they're making. You know, when you keep picking on this person, picking unnecessary, picking, then you make that person become, and you make people want to like him the more, because people now sympathize and see him being
and consider him an underdog, and that's exactly what they're gonna do.
So they that's what they are doing. They keep picking on that man, and they don't know that they are making him more famous, popular with the people, and increasing the interest
and more
on
relevant.
Him.
They're making him more relevant.
More relevant. That's it. Correct, George. All right, Georgie, thank you for coming. Let's go have a beautiful week. It's another new week of a month, and nice week, George. George, is there any last word for today to the viewers as we crop it up?
Well, we're copying it up, we're saying, stay fit, stay positive, keep the faith alive, and make sure, wherever you're listening from around the world, join us once again and share the news, because this is the place where you get the authentic news, not, government-controlled type of news. So yes. I want everybody to join us on Wednesday when we give you our Wednesday Global Africa. And you stay tuned and stay positive. May God bless Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and may God bless our president and all the government officials, and eradicate corruption from our people. Amen.
Nice one. All right, gentlemen, viewers, this is it. We are out Monday, 21st July, Between the Lines, and we've done our thing. So we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Elevate your new week, fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world events. Hook up to SSM Monday program Between the Lines.